I'm Haley, and you're watching Hometalk.
So the first step of this process is going to be emptying out our messy spice drawer. So as you can see, they're all different sizes and shapes and brands. Obviously not very cohesive. And there's also a bunch of spices at the bottom, which this solution is also going to take care of that issue. All right, now we're just gonna take our measuring tape and measure the inside. This is exactly 16 inches by 21.5 inches. Perfect. So now that we have our drawer dimensions, we're gonna go ahead and take a piece of just Dollar Tree foam core, and we're going to take this and just down the length, measure 16 inches. And depending on how many tiers you want, you'll do more or less. Now for the next measurement that we're gonna be getting, we're gonna be using one of the seasonings. And this is personal preference, but I would actually like to go a little bit less than the length so that it doesn't peek out over the top. So 4 inches long. And I'm only going to do 3 tiers. And the next set of dimensions we're going to be doing is, if you're thinking about a staircase, it's going to be the rise of the staircase. And so I'm just going to do 1.5. And we're going to get 3 of those as well. All right, so now we are going to cut these out. If you're doing this on a table that you care about, I'd recommend getting a cutting board. And then you're gonna take the same ruler and an X-Acto knife. Now the final step is gonna be taking 2 of these pieces and we're going to hot glue them. And this is a spot that you're actually not going to see. You'll see it in the final piece, but you're not gonna see this, so it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be stuck. And you're gonna wanna make this a right angle. And personally, I prefer for it to be stuck this way rather than showing, because you will see this. So you want this to be a clean edge, so stick it to the bottom. And there you have your little tier. So we're gonna go ahead and finish this for the other 2 and put it all together. And now for the assembly. So we're just gonna go ahead and take our pieces. And the first one I'm actually gonna offset a little bit, and you'll see why in just a moment. And the rest of them I am just putting in. Because I made them the exact size, they're gonna be a little snug when you put them in, but they're also not going to move. So better to err on the side of closer to the right size than too small. So now to rehouse all of our spices. I'm gonna go ahead and take these glass jars that I found on Amazon. I'm gonna open them up. And this kit also came with an awesome collapsible funnel, but really you could use anything that you have at home. And now I'm going to take my first spice. And that is it. So now we're gonna close this up. And be sure to keep the glass bottle with your old bottle, because when we're labeling, we don't wanna get these mixed up. And some of these, for some of the chunkier spices, I think really just do better freehanding it rather than through the funnel, because the funnel has a pretty narrow tip. So now that we're done rehousing all of our spices, it's time to get to labeling. So I got these from Etsy. You could really get them from anywhere. I believe Amazon has quite a bit of them, Etsy, and then you could just make your own if you'd like. There we go. So we're gonna peel that up. It's basically just a sticker. I'm just gonna eyeball this, and you also want to make sure that there is no spice left on the jar where you're about to place this, because that'll create bumps in the label. But this feels nice and clean. And now we're just going to put it just a little bit from the bottom. And that is our first labeled spice. How much better is that? than the branded one. It's just so farmhouse and fresh. I love it. So time to get the rest of them done. I'm gonna go ahead and start adding our spices.